Howdy, howdy, and welcome to another wonderful trash take. Unfortunately, it looks like things in Chicago are devolving rapidly. You now have the governor and mayor being flagrant retards online, basically saying Trump can no longer run the federal government. He's no longer allowed to enforce the powers given to him by Congress. They're basically trying to ban ICE completely from the city. The mayor made some announcement saying there's now ICE-free zones. The federal government can't show up. And the governor is trying to tell Trump he can't send the National Guard. That's illegal. And Trump's the commander-in-chief. That's like one of the few powers explicitly granted to him as the commander-in-chief. So, I mean, you have Democrats that are just totally making up as many lies and copes as they humanly possibly can, trying to say Trump's trying to incite a civil war, when they're in fact in violation of the Insurrection Act. So, I'm going to dive into that today, because this has been pretty funny. This has been pretty funny to see go down recently. I say recently. I made a video last night, ended up actually taking it down, because things changed this morning. It's just one of these situations where I can't think that this possibly could get any stupider than it possibly has. And Democrats yet again surprise me. All right, let's hop into it. Here we have the mayor of Chicago. He has like a 6% approval rating from what I understand. He's also openly admitted to being racist and like marginalizing white people's businesses and only allowing black people to get like permits in the city, which was some crazy shit he said in the past. And the people of Chicago understand he's a retard. He has a 6% approval rating. There's videos of him getting berated by people for basically destroying the city of Chicago. The city's barely functioning. I think at this weekend they had 32 murders or something like that. You have ICE agents that are being attacked on the daily now, and the police are being told to step down by the governor. I'm sure the mayors also have a hand to play in that in some way, shape, or form, because I know the police kind of report to the governor and mayor. It's the hierarchy of most local jurisdictions. It's like the mayor's their boss and the governor's the boss's boss type of deal. But I want to dive more to this. Let's see what this enlightening individual has to say.
Today, we are signing an executive order aimed at reining in this out-of-control administration. The order establishes ICE-free zones.
That's right. They just told the federal government there are now places in our city that you cannot go.
That means that city property and unwilling private businesses will no longer serve as staging grounds for these raids. And today, we are
staging grounds for these raids, i.e., we're not going to comply with federal judge orders from ICE when they're doing raids anymore. This is insurrection. Insurrection Act of 1807. The Insurrection Act of 1807 is a federal law that empowers the President of the United States to nationally deploy U.S. militaries to federalize the National Guard units of individual states in specific circumstances, such as the suppression of civil disorder or insurrection and of armed rebellion against federal government of the United States. After invoking and before exercising the powers under the Insurrection Act, Title 10 requires the publication of the presidential proclamation, thereby that the U.S. President formally orders the dispersal of the peoples committing civil unrest or armed rebellion. The Insurrection Act basically requires them to physically go outside and say, leave now. And if you don't listen, you get arrested. This is kind of wild that we're hitting levels of Trump's really about to have to read the Insurrection Act and the National Guard's really going to have to deploy and read the Insurrection Act to start arresting these people who are in open rebellion against the federal government. These are powers granted to Trump by Congress. Even under the Biden administration, it got proven that even Texas National Guard was not allowed to protect their own borders. That is completely in control of ICE. That's completely in control of the president. Part of that is controlling people coming in and forcing people going out. It's the second part there, forcing people coming out. The illegal aliens that are in this country, illegally, don't belong here. It is within the presidential powers to fully remove these people. And you now have Democrats that are upset that their voters are getting deported. That's what this boils down to. And it's turned into a bandwagon of every blatant retard hopping on it full send. No questions asked. Here's more of it where apparently he says the right wing in America is actually trying to start a civil war. Not the people openly defying the federal government and the powers given to the federal government explicitly by Congress.
I said very candidly that the right wing in this country wants a rematch of the Civil War.
No. In fact, I think everyone on the right wing has been trying to beg the Democrats to get the left wing destroyed from their party. The left wing's the ones openly cheering Charlie Kirk's death. The left wing is Jay Jones in Virginia openly calling for his opponent's kids to be killed in front of him and then calling to shoot his opponent in the head. This is the left wing. These are Democrats. There's no real difference between the left wing and the Democrats is what this is boiling down to. And all he's doing is just saying, it's the right wingers. You're openly in violation of federal law. You're saying you're not going to comply with judges or federal orders. I'm sorry, what the fuck do you think's gonna happen? The federal government's just gonna sit there with his thumb up his ass and not do anything to protect its troops? You have a ICE agent that had to open fire on some crazy fucking retard who tried to run them off the road and kill them. And in that same day, you had a separate video of another incident of an ICE agent getting rammed in their car. And then they step out of the car and point the guns at it, and then the car drives away too. People thought that video was actually when that lady got shot. No, those were two different bumper car sessions with ICE agents. Chicago has turned into a war zone because these people are openly instigating this. They are openly telling their people that Trump is a fascist, this is the Gestapo, and you need to stop them. And now they're telling the federal government we're not going to comply with anything. These people are begging for a civil war because they know the media will just say it's Trump's fault no matter what happens. There's no logic here. It's a cult that is steered so far out of control. They're actually about to try to start a civil war in America. I thought the UK was going to have one, but now it looks like the federal government's about to slap all these retards back into order.
I want that to sit in right now because the President of the United States of America has declared war on the people of Chicago.
He's declared war on the illegal alien gang members, the murderers, the rapists, the drug dealers, the human traffickers. He's declared war on them. Those aren't the people of Chicago. If anything, this is a self-report if you think those are your citizens being deported, because they aren't. They are illegal. ICE cannot deport citizens. That is a complete fabrication. That is fear-mongering by the Democrats. And that is all they're doing is fear-mongering.
And people across America. That's right. He's more interested.
That's right. You have retards behind him agreeing. That's the issue. He's surrounded by a bunch of retarded yes men.
In giving billions of dollars to other nations while farmers in urban cities around this country are literally being destabilized.
Farmers and urban cities? What the fuck is this man talking about? Your urban cities are being destabilized because your government's active, because you, the mayor, is actively allowing Trinidad and Walker gang members to take over complete apartment blocks and housing and not doing anything to remove them. So when the federal government finally does come in, which happened in Chicago, you pull out the cameras and you start saying they're arresting innocent people and a few gang members. That was actually Fitzger that did that, the governor, not this mayor. But they're completely disconnected from reality. This is just a complete misframing of everything that they say is a flagrant fucking lie. They're lying. They are 100% lying, and they're not even trying to hide it. They're just writing fanfic about what they feel is happening, because facts don't matter to these idiots.
And so, whether it's the legal system, whether it's through executive order, or whether it's through the brave women and men who are serving as rapid responders. We literally have people who are volunteering in this city, on the southwest side, the northwest side, all over this city, to make sure that we're protecting children from being separated from their families.
Take the family with them if that's such an issue. If you have a child that's here illegally, doesn't that mean the parents probably are too? What is that? What does this mean? Is he talking about the fake video of the illegal alien that ditched his autistic daughter and ran inside the house? Is that what he's talking about? I don't know what these people are talking about because they make up so many lies they can't keep their story straight. This is 100% emotional appeal with no logic or no proof behind it. They're separating kids from their families. Deport all of them then, if you really want to play that game. A kid can't go back without his parents, you're entirely right. How does a kid be here illegally but the parents aren't? Normally, if the parents are citizens, so are the kids. So what situation is he talking about? What is happening here? Are we talking about a kid that was trafficked into the United States and is now being forced to live with family members that aren't his parents, being deported back to his parents? Like, I don't understand the situation, but it's not reality. That's the point.
And we're talking about volunteers who are literally putting themselves at risk of being shot.
Volunteers at risk of putting themselves being shot. Are these the volunteers? Is this what he's talking about? This is the video of the other incident where ICE is being rammed. This is an ICE car. This is some unhinged fucking lunatic ramming the car. They are like playing bumper cars with him, sorry. Right there, ran them off the road all the way down here. And then they get surrounded and they jump the median to get away. Are these the brave volunteers? The Antifa terrorists? Democrats have totally thrown their hat in the ring with terrorists. And they're about to all be arrested federally. And at this point, this needs to happen. This is crazy. This needs a reality check. We have people that are completely just making shit up on the fly. They have no recollection. They have no care of what the facts of the case are. This is wild. This is dangerous. And this is from the Democrats.
And killed by the federal government. And so whether it's the legal system, whether it's our continuous struggle for liberation through organizing, and whether it's through executive action, or whether it's through law, it would be nice if we actually had lawmakers in Washington that would actually hold this president accountable.
He's using powers given to him explicitly by Congress. I hate that anyone can be elected in America because we're not getting our best and brightest. We're getting the most retarded who appeal to the masses from some way, shape, or form. I don't know how this man ever got elected. He doesn't understand a single fucking word that he said. He's just speaking words that don't make sense when you actually put them together with the context of what's happening. What do you mean, hold him accountable? He's using the powers explicitly given to him by Congress as the president, as the commander-in-chief. What is happening? What is happening? So this is a list of all the times the Insurrection Act was actually activated in America. Apparently over 230 years, it's only been activated 30 times. And it's been pretty crazy with some violent rebellions. So people are demanding Trump activate this time. Nat Turner's rebellion. Federal troops assisted to squash black resistance of slavery without following the procedures outlined in the Insurrection Act. After reviewing the mayor of Norfolk's request for aid, mid-level military officers deployed 3 artillery companies and 43 Marines. Only later did Andrew Jackson, as Secretary of War, endorse the deployment, noting their entire satisfaction with the federal operation. Like, the most recent one should be chronological order. 1914 with Woodrow Wilson. Coal miners in Colorado that went on strike. This is open warfare between miners and the Colorado National Guard. So basically they deployed the National Guard and the miners started attacking the National Guard. Trump's deploying the National Guard and Antifa is openly attacking the National Guard and the local government is telling the police to stand down. Now I'll show you that too. So we have text evidence of the police being told to stand down and not help Border Patrol agents. Please, Chief of Patrol, no units will respond to this as related from October 4th at 12:28, which is basically around the time when they got assaulted by the ICE agents were under attack from the Antifa tard lady. They got completely boxed in by 10 cars. They were deploying tear gas and they had to open fire because once they got out of the car to move a moped out of the way that was stopped in front of their car, they got rammed by some crazy fucking lady. And she got shot, and rightfully so. I hope she spends the rest of her life in jail. And it's basically them saying the Border Patrol units are armed, but they're being completely surrounded by a large crowd, and they're requesting the police, and the police officer says, nope, we're not helping. That's proof one.
All right, and
here's proof two. A police scanner. Someone recorded the police scanner of the incident going down.
Just to confirm, 39th Police in Kedzie, they were saying that they were being surrounded by that large crowd, and they were requesting the police were not.
They're fully surrounded by the crowd, and they're requesting police officers. This lady's asking for confirmation, and we're not sending backup. She just stated it all out perfectly clear. They're being surrounded, they're asking for help, and we're going to back down.
I'm waving off all the cars heading to 39th Place in Kedzie.
Again, those are the orders we're being given.
Again, those are the orders being given. Who's giving these orders to the Chicago Police Department? It's AI, take it with a grain of salt, but this is my understanding of civics. The Chicago Police Department is led by the Superintendent of Police, who also reports to the mayor, who appointed the superintendent. The mayor holds the ultimate authority in the department's leadership. The mayor. Who's the mayor? That retard we just saw. People are talking about the Supremacy Clause as well being enacted here. I don't know much about that. So the Supremacy Clause is a provision in the Article 6 of the United States Constitution that establishes that the Constitution, federal laws made under its authority, and treaties are the supreme law of the land, meaning they take precedence over conflicting state laws. This clause ensures that the state courts are bound by federal law, promoting a uniform legal framework across the nation. This is why Democrats arrest people with the police, because they know if the federal agents arrest them at any of these protests, they'll get charged federally, and they can't drop the cases because the DA is dropping all these cases. Because we just saw everyone saying, all the violence is right-wingers! But you have constant protests and constant terroristic acts promoted by the left who get arrested by the police, and then they get the charges dropped. So those never make it on the book, and they never make it into those fake ADL studies because these people get their charges dropped every single time. This is why when people talk about terrorism and they're posting statistics, they're heavily skewed and they're fake because they don't actually include assaults. They only include arrests and convictions. Not even arrests, convictions. It's cherry-picked data. The Supremacy Clause here does sound like it would kick into effect. Like, I'm not a lawyer, but I can read basic documents. And like I said in a previous video, I've been reading the Constitution recently. I've been reading over some of our historical framework. And the Democrats are just like shitting all over anything they can to do whatever the fuck they want. They are trying to actively promote a civil war by doing everything they can to ignore the president. So treason in the United States is both federal and local there are both federal, states, and laws preventing this. It's defined in level 3 of the Article 3, Section 3 of the United States Constitution on levying war against the United States or adhering to their enemies and giving them aid and comfort. Trinidad is a terrorist organization. You can almost argue that they're giving them aid by fully making the federal government and the ICE agents go in by themselves and not providing any police support. It's a secondary side effect, but they're getting very close to this article being invoked, where treason is not going to be that far of a charge. And it's crazy because I was told during January 6th that all those people were violent, treasonous traitors, yet every single one of them got charged with trespassing. Funny how that works, huh? They were so treasonous against the United States, and not a single one got charged with treason. They all got trespassing charges. Wild, right? Wild. And now we have Democrats openly defying the federal government, doing everything they can to incite a civil war, but somehow they're not treasonous? It's framing by the media. That's all it is. Right now, Democrats have the media running overtime for them and their dog shit policies and their dog shit excuses, and this is getting really bad. I don't think these people understand. Trump's not going to back down, nor should he. He is restoring law and order to this country. This is what he was voted for. This is what I voted on him to do. And these people are openly throwing their hat in with Trinidad gang members, with illegal alien drug cartels, with murderers, with human traffickers. That is who they're choosing. And now Antifa too. Literal terrorists who politically intimidate, like the Gestapo from World War II and the Nazis and the Nazi Germany factions. Like, this shit is crazy. These people are openly retarded. And they don't know it. That is the saddest part. Or they do know it, and they're hoping it'll help their political career further, but it looks like the political career is going to be them accumulating with treason charges. We also have Gavin Newsom being a flagrant retard as well for Democrats across the board. This isn't isolate. This is with Portland. So Gavin Newsom's talking about, we just won in court. Again, a federal judge blocked Donald Trump's unlawful attempt to deploy 300 of our National Guard troops to Portland. He's the commander-in-chief! That's literally what he's allowed to do! A fucking federal judge can't say no. The power specifically given to the president's not allowed because I don't like it. That's a complete overreach of their judicial authority. This is crazy. And Newsom's cheering! Newsom's cheering that a federal judge is not allowing the National Guard to be deployed to stop ICE agents from being assaulted, to stop journalists from being assaulted. These are Antifa terrorists that the Democrats are throwing their hat in with. Gavin Newsom is cheering that the populace and the federal agents are being assaulted and there's nothing they can do to stop it. That is what he's cheering for here. And he knows it too. And he knows his fucking audience he knows Democrats are too stupid to actually see what he says or care about what he says. They're too stupid to really break down the essence of his argument. This is not an abuse of power. The judge is abusing their power. And this is like, I'm taking crazy pills. I'm taking crazy pills. We've elected retards all around this country. This is not legal in any way, shape, or form. This is going to be immediately overturned, and it should. Trump has full authority to command the National Guard. That's literally what he does. He's the president. He can control them wherever they want. The only thing they're doing is finding useful idiot judges that are activists that are throwing up red flags when they shouldn't be. The Democrats right now are the problem with everything in America. And I'm sorry. I mean, I started making these videos at first and I was like, you know what? Democrats seem to be having some issues. The Charlie Kirk openly cheering for his death and calling for more deaths, that woke me up. I'm sorry. There was at no point can I sit here and realize this is fine, guys. This is fine. Every day, I'm seeing these people openly allow terroristic acts against fellow citizens to happen. The National Guard are American citizens. The federal ICE agents are American citizens. They're deporting illegal aliens. You have Democrats that are coming out to swing for illegal aliens more than they do the federal agents being assaulted. And they're stirring the rhetoric on. Don't forget, Gavin Newsom went on a talk show host the night before a terrorist attack at the ICE facility in Dallas. He said that black and brown people should be afraid. He called ICE the fascists. He called them the Gestapos. He said this, and the next day, a retarded communist opened fire on the Dallas facility. His rhetoric is directly responsible for this. And for some reason, the news gives him a free fucking pass because he's a Democrat. Just like with Jay Jones. Dude openly called his political opponent's children little fascists and wants to see them die. And he said he wanted his political opponent dead as well. And you haven't had a single Democrat that's running or anywhere come out against this. You haven't. You had like 2 people on the news this morning say, holy shit, this is crazy. But all the Democrats are dead silent on Twitter. This dude got text messages leaked of him cheering for someone to die. We saw Democrats cheer for people. We saw Democrats cheer for Charlie Kirk's death. This isn't isolated. This is a Democrat problem. They need to rein their crazies in, but at this part, I don't know if it's only the crazies left in the party. That's what it seems like to me, man. This is wild. This is scary. Elections have consequences, and these are the consequences now. We have too many retards in positions of power, and it's dangerous for everyone that isn't a part of their cult. That's the truth. They will use the full extent of the law every single time on you. That's what's happening in Portland. You have 2 journalists in Portland that got arrested for defending themselves from Antifa assaulting them. And you had the police chief actually write in a report that the federal government that the federal judge actually cited of why Trump can't deploy the National Guard, blaming the journalists for being assaulted. They're blaming the journalists for being assaulted by Antifa terrorists, and the police do nothing they can. The police do basically nothing to stop them. They do the bare minimum, because when they do arrest someone, it's catch and release. The only time these people face actions for their consequences, or the only time these people face consequences for their action, is when the federal government grabs them, and now they're answering to the federal government for their charges. Not these local dogshit DAs who can drop the charges. No, federal charges. This should be political suicide. If Gavin Newsom wins another election from the dogshit stuff he's saying, if the mayor of Chicago wins another election, if the governor wins another election, America's fucked. We can't remove this problem is what that means. The communists have won. They have actually taken over our country in a meaningful way. And it's just we're going to be slowly dying while these cities suck more from the taxpayers to pay for their illegal alien voters that they keep importing, that they're doing everything to protect. They're inciting violence against American citizens getting killed for illegal aliens. That is who they're in favor of. Not you, not me, illegal aliens. People who just ran across the border and arbitrarily are here now. Makes no sense. So this is me in the post editing. I originally said that this made no sense of why they're stopping the National Guard, and that's actually wrong. Now that I thought about it more, the reason they're stopping the National Guard is because when they have more troops on the ground and they're able to control areas better, they can arrest more of the agitators, the rioters, the Antifa-tards. And that's what they don't want happening, them being the Democrats. Once their agitators are going to jail on a federal level because the police are refusing to help and Trump's won, they're losing voters. They're going to lose this fight, and it's going to make them look like idiots. They're doing everything they can to stop Trump from being able to have more forces there to be able to control the situation and actually make the arrests that need to happen. Democrats are doing it purposefully. Originally, I was thinking this is crazy. I don't understand why they're doing it. But no, that's their end game. That makes complete sense. They know if Trump has more troops on the ground, he can further control situations and arrest the people that are being agitators and being violent. That is not what they want to have happen. Those are their voters. They want to keep them on the streets. They want the DAs. They want the police to release them. They want the police to catch and release when humanly possible. I think right now in Chicago, they're messing up big time by at least not allowing the officers to provide assistance in arresting people like they should be, because they're not going to be able to release them. Once Trump gets his troops down there, they're all federally charged. They're going into federal penitentiary. Yeah, I was just thinking about that in the post. I was like, no, there's a reason they're doing this. This isn't just random. It's them trying to be tactical is my best guess. And it seems pretty stupid, and it's going to fail. That was a long rant today, guys. I do apologize, but I've been thinking about this all day, and the more I think about it, the more my brain hurts. This is wild to me that you can have people this openly stupid and have political power in America. And I make fun of Trump for being an idiot because he's a really funny idiot, but he's still intelligent at the end of the day. This isn't intelligence. This is just straight retardation from the Democrats, back to back to back to back. And it's scary. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. If you liked the video, feel free to like it, comment down below, or subscribe. I've been covering this, and it seems to be getting worse and worse, so I'll probably be covering it more. At this point, they're about to start reading the Insurrection Act at a lot of these places, and I'm waiting to see the footage on that. I don't want my fellow citizens to die. But this is what Gavin Newsom, this is what J.B. Fitzger, this is what the mayor of Chicago, this is what they want, and this is what they're trying to do. They want these people to be killed so they can use it to run again for a political campaign. And I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see my fellow American citizens kill other American citizens because I'm an actual patriot, unlike these people. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. If you like the video, like it, comment down below, or subscribe. Either way, I'll see you in the next video. Until then, later.